most lyrically difficult songs you've had all year. Welcome back to StillerBros at the Movies, where today we're going to be, the last couple episodes have been, really political, and that's not the show we set out to make when we started doing this. We just wanted to make a show where we talk about movies and have fun. So, let's just take us some time, talk about the most apolitical movie that we could possibly find, because no art is apolitical. Let's see what we're talking about today. Oh, crap. Yes, so today we are finally seeing the sequel to one of Disney's big hits of their second renaissance, Zootopia. The first Zootopia was kind of a surprise hit. I don't know exactly what people were expecting because we were not exactly savvy on what people were feeling at the time when Zootopia came out. Well, I'll tell you what they were expecting. They were expecting a silly animal movie, the kind of which it felt like Disney had moved past. But then it came out and everybody realized, oh, it's an allegory for racism. Fun! Yeah, whether you like it or not, Zootopia is a movie about racism. And if you thought they were being subtle about it, I hope you really enjoyed that nap you clearly took the entire second half of the movie. Yeah, this movie is very, very not subtle with the fact that it was about something that, as it turned out in 2016, was very much a hot-button issue at the time that the movie came out. And boy, oh boy, has so much changed in the 9 years since it came out. But in that 9 years, people have been basically clamoring for a sequel. And it's really because a lot of different factors. One, Zootopia was just genuinely a really good movie. Two, the characters are just so likable and fun, especially with the chemistry that Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman had as the characters. And three, the world of Zootopia is just so amazingly lived in and well thought out that it's almost amazing that we just were thinking, what other possibilities are there to this world? And it's just one of those things where you look at a lot of the stuff that they had to do, and then you look at some of the animal movies that came out in the wake of Zootopia, and you're like, wow, they didn't try at all. Zootopia tried so much to show us what this world had to be. Tried everything? Mostly everything, I think. I mean, the fact that you can look at Zootopia, and then a couple months later, the movie Sing, and think, wow, Zootopia put a lot of effort into what would the differences between a world with predominantly animals living in it would be like versus Sing, where it's just like everything in this world is basically the same as the real world except it'll look funny animals. So Zootopia 2 being a thing that was going to happen was definitely something that a lot of people were waiting for, and it's obviously one of those things where it's like we were waiting for the right story to come along before anyone was like, okay, let's do this. And they attempted to satiate us with a series of shorts on Disney Plus, which is called Zootopia Plus, that I don't know what the numbers are on that, but I'm sure people like them enough. Yeah. But it's not the movie. No, and having the movie come out now is just perfect timing because of the world we're living in now, and we don't know much about what this movie is about, but we know enough about it to know that we can be excited. We have Jared Bush and Byron Howard, the directors of the first movie, coming back to work on it. And, it really says something about the times we're in, not just for the cultural moments of what Zootopia was about and what this movie will probably be about, but also the fact that Disney has, particularly their animated projects, have not been doing that great, particularly with their sequels. And that makes sense, because when your standard is Wreck-It Ralph, the original Frozen, the original Moana, and all that kind of stuff, and the standard is just high enough that it's like, what are we going to do to follow that up? And a lot of people have walked away disappointed in one way or another. We haven't, but, I think it's because in some cases we set our standards low enough, and in at least one case it's because we took the stick out of our asses. Yeah. But it's kind of weird that Disney at this point is the studio that is kind of floundering as an animation studio, while meanwhile Netflix and Sony are out there showing them how it's done. So we keep referencing this movie, and we didn't talk about it because we didn't think it was going to be anything. But the important thing is that Zootopia 2 I don't know what we're walking into, because for right now, we've heard some pretty good things. We've heard a lot of people say, oh my god, it's just as good as the first one. Thank God, it's amazing.
And they're keeping a lot of plot details out of the advertising, but we do know that they have a pretty insane cast behind this.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman reprising their roles, we also have like Idris Elba reprising his role.
We've got Ke Huy Quan of Everything Everywhere All at Once and the Goonies fame coming in to play a new character.
And it's Fortune Femster, but then there's the weird little cameos that will pop up here and there. Like, this movie is stacked with celebrity casting. Like, we got Brenda Song, Macaulay Culkin, Andy Samberg, Patrick Warburton, June Squibb, Ali Carvalho, Dwayne Johnson,
Stephanie Beatrice,
Wilmer Valderrama,
and Sheeran.
The whole thing is just like crammed with guest spots from anyone who has even vaguely been in a Disney project. Just so many people are just like, are you in it? Am I in it? What's going on? The Bunny and the Fox are driving a car.
Horse tranquilizers will do it every single time. See you guys after the jump.
Oh my god, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. So, in case you have not been keeping up, things have been a little disappointing around here, with stuff like The Running Man and Wicked for Good being fine, but not like the amazing movies that we wanted them to be.
So to come out of a movie feeling like our expectations were not just met, but exceeded, it was a great feeling to get that endorphin high.
I mean, let's get into this. My god, they really expanded upon the characters in this.
They expanded upon the characters, they expanded upon the world. They actually had a story to tell, especially a timely story, as it turns out.
This is a story about gentrification,
among other things.
But it's also a story about these two characters just kind of learning to work together as an actual team and not just mismatched comedy cop partners.
Along with potentially continuing to string along the shippers.
Yeah, the exact kind of people who made a particular webcomic go viral as a dumb meme, if you know, you know.
But it's insane, the chemistry that Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman still have together.
And the fact that they are carrying this movie so much. Like, we listed off so many celebrities at the beginning of this movie. By the way, thanks for darting me.
You're welcome.
But so many of them are just kind of like one-off bit parts, whereas they're just like, no, we're going to let the actual cast of this movie carry it.
Yeah.
Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman, Fortune Feimster, and Ke Huy Quan, who is actually in this movie a lot less than I would have assumed when you get an actor as popular at the time as him.
Especially because he was on the poster and a big part of the marketing.
He's the logo of the goddamn movie, and he's probably in it a lot less than you would have expected.
Yeah. What really makes this movie work is just the writing of it, where it doesn't dumb down what it's saying and what it's doing.
I mean, occasionally it will kind of be like, oh, we need to kind of explain what's going on in this scene because we need to remember that the target audience is technically children. But once again, the target audience is technically children, so they do need to at some points explain to the audience, hey, this is what's going on in the scene.
But given that it's also been a decade since the last one, there are a bunch of older fans of the first one who are probably coming to watch this. But it's a complex character story, not just a cutesy animal movie, which is what made the first one so great and what makes this one so great.
And on top of everything else, oh my god, it's hilarious!
Yeah!
Not just like cute animal puns, which of course there are plenty, but actually character-based joke writing.
Yeah.
Even in a lot of good comedy movies, they neglect to be like, hey, let's do character writing.
I mean, you have Fortune Feimster, who is hilarious, playing a character who is hilarious.
Fortune Feimster is where most of the cartoony comedy bits come in.
Granted, Fortune Feimster playing a beaver is already a hilarious concept for what I hope are obvious reasons.
But either way, they had her carry the comedy bits, whereas Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman are just kind of doing the typical buddy cop shtick, where they're just like, where the jokes for them come from how different they are, and it's also where the character growth comes from.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jared Bush, have you secretly been one of the greatest screenwriters ever to live?
I mean, we'll find out when we see the Moana remake it next year.
But this has just been so amazing to just be like, oh, the animation upgrades are great because you'd think they are seamless if you watched this in the next movie afterwards.
I mean, we've had Disney sequels the last couple of years be a little lackluster in ways, where we had like Ralph Breaks the Internet and Moana 2, where they were good. We still think they're good, but not like earth-shattering like the original movies were.
But here it's like, oh my god, you made something as good as the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe we're too excited because we got an actually amazing movie for the first time in months, but oh my god.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's just stuff like new members of the cast, like Andy Samberg playing a character that's a weird use of your Samberg, but pretty welcome.
Yeah. And although Samberg being in anything is welcome, I'm all for Andy Samberg being in more stuff.
But then there's also like Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song in there for a few minutes, but it's nice that they're in there. We've got
Danny Trejo, who is hilarious in this.
Yes, Danny Trejo playing kind of, once again, as he usually does, a parody of his typical persona, where it's like, oh, he's a vicious tough guy. Now let's see him do something ridiculous, and it makes you laugh even harder.
Like, we missed almost all the cameos because we knew who some of them were, but most of them just flew right by.
Some of them are just like one-off little lines thrown in throughout the mix, and it's just like, did that have to be Dwayne Johnson? You know what? I don't care.
Or just like, oh, okay, Robert Irwin laying a koala. That's all funny.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious but welcome joke. And, you know, one of the worrying things would be the fact that you see all these bonus features online that are like, oh, look at all the celebrity cameos we got, and you're just like, oh crap, the first one wasn't a celebrity cameo fest. Is this one going to be? And no. In fact,
it's not distracting.
You'd argue that the celebrity cameos are just kind of like, the first one was a success, now let's get like all these critically acclaimed and beloved actors to play bit parts throughout it.
It's not distracting because especially because I didn't even recognize some of the actors who are in bigger roles.
Most of the actors that are in here are just basically here because it's like, we can do stuff to your voice, or you can do a funny voice. Like, would you have known that it was Josh Gad if you didn't see this bonus feature in front?
Well,
probably not.
Probably not. But they have just all these recognizable actors, but they use them to their effects. Like, we have Patrick Warburton, who had his Patrick Warburton-iest, because who doesn't love having Patrick Warburton in a Disney movie?
And, you know, it almost fills the world more, because the world is very established already. It feels very lived in. There's not a lot in the sense of what can we make this world look more inhabited by.
They don't feel like they need to top themselves, which I think was a good call.
Except they kind of did, in particular for the scene that had to match the try everything montage at the beginning of the first movie. I feel like they just topped it by being like, look, we know how to convey a story through visual language. Let's just show that off.
Yeah, it's just kind of the fact that we have all this stuff for this world that they've built. Let's expand the world. Let's give something. Let's add to it. Let's make something new.
And if it feels like we're rambling, it's mostly because we're dancing around the fact that, like in the first movie, this movie has a series of twists and turns in it that we obviously don't want to wreck for anyone who might be watching this video before going to see the movie.
Yeah, it's a mystery movie, and like all good mysteries, the more details you know going in, the more you're going to be spoiled.
So instead, we're spoiling the stuff that Disney already spoiled by listing off a bunch of random celebrity cameos that they just kind of threw in because they felt like they had the power to.
Yeah.
And on top of everything else, I really like the new Shakira song.
So many bunnies on the floor tonight, hopping and shaking their bunny hips. The she bunny and all of us. Oh.
Yeah, I like it better than Try Everything.
I'm not sure if I like it better than Try Everything. Maybe I need to listen to it a few million more times, but it really feels like a perfect sequel song that was written specifically for this movie, whereas Try Everything was almost just a catchy pop song that they kind of slapped on because it fit the themes of the first movie.
Yeah.
And, of course, you can really feel the Ed Sheeran influence in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Zootopia 2 is amazing. I loved every second of it. I can't wait to see it again. And I really hope that when they tease the idea of a third major case for Hobbs and Wilde to solve, that I'll be seated.
Yeah, I want to see Zootopia 3 now. I want to go back to this world as fast as possible.
Just like we did when we saw the first one 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god. An amazing movie like this.
Yeah.
So, that's it for right now. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave in the comments what you may or may not have thought of Zootopia 2, Zootopia, just both of them, maybe even the Disney Plus series. And don't forget to tune in next time when it's so dumb.
So dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb. Bye.
Stab me straight into the heart.